Good morning, everybody. Keith here. Happy day to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody down there in Florida, along the East Coast, down in the Gulf, wherever the storms are hitting. Hope everybody's safe and be blessed. Wanted to talk to everybody today about this birth certificate and how they hypothecated your authority. Because basically what they did was they pledged a name, verbally sounding exactly the same as the one your mom and dad gave to you. When they hypothecated this name, what they meant was that they pledged that name, the sound, not your appellation, but the sound, which sounds the same as your appellation, as a transmitting or a utility, and you became the transmitter. When they hypothecated that authority, what they did was they gave you authority over a utility without telling you. What they did was they pledged for you the name on the account of the estate in your appellation. When they did this with very wise intent in accordance with their own goals. Because according to their own rules and maxims of law, a fictitious entity cannot contract with a live entity. And therefore, the reason for hypothecating your authority through the birth certificate. They gave you authority over their utility. They pledged your authority to their utility. They did this because they know you have unlimited power to contract. A fictitious entity does not have power to contract, period. They have to obtain that power to contract through a physical motion. Someone has to sign in order to give authority. So every time you sign your name, your appellation, understand, comprehend, you are giving authority. You're giving authority to something that which has already been pledged. Learn the use of the words that they're putting out there. Hypothecated authority is exactly what they did. You didn't give them authority. They pledged your authority for their paper, for their works, for their constructs, for their contracts, for their documents. Hi, John. Yeah, you're right. I was just out in the sun and it's kind of bright, so sat in the car. Forgot to take them off. But yeah, so think about this. Your unlimited power to contract. Everybody wants to get on the unalienable and inalienable rights. And that's fine and dandy. That's if you want to get into that. But your unlimited power to contract, in my opinion, stems from three things. And I've said this before and I'll repeat it like other things that I'll repeat timelessly. You all have, just like I do, the right to believe what you wish to believe. You have the right to make your own choices, and you have the right to change your mind anytime and for whatever reason you wish. That is your unlimited power to contract. In basic three concepts. You can go into any court. I don't care if it's admiralty. I don't care if it's a court of equity. I don't care if it's a court of law. I don't care if it's a court record or a court of record. If you ask anybody in that room, or anywhere in life for that matter, if they believe that they have the same rights as you, and it comes down to you have the right to believe what you wish to believe. That's that First Amendment, freedom of association, freedom of religion. You have that right to believe what you wish to believe. You also have the right to make your own choices. You have the right to change your mind at any time for any reason. So when you get bound up into these contracts and you decide to associate with somebody, signing your name, you're giving authority. When you refuse to accept what they're putting out, then you're maintaining your own authority. You're maintaining your authority to believe what you want to believe, make your own choices, and to change your mind. These contracts that they get you caught up in, 99% of them are implied. You get pulled over on the side of the road, an officer comes up. Do you know why I stopped you? Well, I was speeding. You just convicted yourself. You just convicted yourself based upon an implied contract, an hypothecation that they have done long before you were even able to conceive what was going on in life. They pledged a name that sounds exactly the same as the appellation your mom and dad gave you, and then said that your mother and father gave you that name. Remember the differences in these words. Mom and dad are not the same as mother and father. Child is not the same as offspring. Parents are not the same as co-creators. Children are not the same as offspring or siblings. Understand the differences in the words that they have hypothecated for their use. These are words that they pledged for their use. Commerce. Parents. Mother. Father. Children. You'll notice that they don't use the other words that are common English. Mom, dad, man, woman. They use their hypothecated words. And then they even use words that are common English, such as person, and hypothecate the use for their specific intent. And that's why when you go into court, you have to ask for points of clarity on these words that you think you know, so that you can get a clear understanding or clear comprehension of how they are using them, as opposed to how you're using them. Because most people, when they use the word mother and father, they're talking about their mom and dad. When they talk about mother and father in courts, they're talking about something totally different than your mom and dad. When they talk about child, they're talking about something totally different than your children or you as a child. So, yes, all crimes are commercial. I just did a little reading on that again today. Commerce all breaks down to movement. You cannot perform commerce and provide currency through their Federal Reserve and the IMF and the IRS and the corporation known as United States and all of its subcorporations cannot provide currency unless you move. Unless you move. Unless you sign. So, understand, people, when they hypothecated a name, they hypothecated the sound. They didn't hypothecate your appellation, they hypothecated the sound. And they even transcribed it in its proper language. They transcribed your appellation from being the common English spelling to the estate spelling in all caps. And these are all subtle differences that they did. And they did it for very specific and, like I said, wise reasons. Because they, as fictitious entities, do not have any power to contract. They have zero power to contract. Because without a signature of one man and another man coming to the meeting of minds, two fictions don't have minds, and therefore they cannot meet. They cannot contract. A fictitious entity cannot contract with another fictitious entity. It has to be through a signature. Quit signing shit, people. Quit signing your authority away. If you want to maintain your authority, read the documents, amend them, and then apply your authority. But when you go unwittingly, unknowingly, and unintentionally signing documents because somebody else told you to, says that you have to sign this, and you're not signing that you're guilty, you're just signing that you're appearing, understand that they are wanting you to sign because they have no ability to contract without your signature. So hopefully everybody understands that. You know, your right to believe what you want to believe, the right to make your own choice, and the right to change your mind. That's your unlimited power to contract. And they hypothecated it through the birth certificate. That's all they did. They didn't steal it. They hypothecated a name. They pledged a name that sounds exactly similar to yours, verbally, phonetically. And then they wrote it down in a different form so that they had the power to conduct contracts. That's all it is. They didn't do anything unlawful. They didn't do anything illegal. And it's your right to believe what you want to believe. So again, like I said in one of my other posts, when I sign or autograph, I even changed that now. I autograph because I am the author of my documents that I publish. And when I autograph, I put down all rights retained, no rights waived. That means I do not want a contract. And then I autograph. And then if you turn around and hypothecate yourself by pledging yourself physically, by going to the court, you've now communicated that you want a contract. Stick with your first communication and refuse to contract. Yep, all voluntary. Yep, it is, Rich. It's all voluntary. And yeah, James, in my house. This is my house. My house goes with me everywhere I go. We are life. We are mankind. We are the bank. We are the prosecutor. We are the transmitter of everything we do. So therefore, if we want to use the utility that the government drew up, the fictitious utility that the government drew up, another fictitious entity, then we can do so by signing. But we better know how to use our authority in doing so. Otherwise, then we're just giving our authority to somebody else to do so. Anyway, didn't want to make it too long. Just basically wanted to put a little stuff out there and hopefully help people tie things in together, how you are the one transmitting everything that happens. Every time you sign a document, you're signing a contract. You have the right to believe what you wish to believe. So you better be reading that contract so you believe it. You have the right to make your own choices. So upon reading that contract, if you find something in there that doesn't fit to your liking, then you have the right to change your mind. You have the right to amend that contract. And then, all rights retained, no rights waived, autograph it. That's an adhesion contract, and they can take it or leave it. All your implied contracts, in my opinion, are known as adhesion contracts. You take it or leave it. If you go to court, after you already told them by autographing, all rights retained, no rights waived, you said you don't want a contract. If you then turn around and go into court, you've just reversed your decision. You've changed your mind. So quit changing your mind unless you know what you're doing. Anyway, I'm out. Good morning, Diana, Stephanie, Leslie. I hope everybody's doing good. Hope this helps you out. All I can do is tell you I love you. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. God bless. Have a great day.